Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Tornado Takeover. We are your hosts,
Rick,
and I'm Angela, and we have a jam-packed show for you today.
full of good stuff.
So stay tuned. Not gonna want to. All right, welcome back to episode 2 of the Tornado Takeover. We are your hosts, Fred and Angela, and as we said earlier, we have a jam-packed show. We have
tons of sports. Let's talk about it.
where are we going with the Sooners?
Let's start off with those Oklahoma Sooners. Dominating performance, very well.
And then we're going to move into the OSU Cowboys. They ended up playing the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes, so it's kind of a 2-for-1er. Then we're going to head and chat a little bit about the Oklahoma City Baseball Club before we finish off with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, like I said, a lot to throw into a show today.
But definitely stay tuned. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun. You guys out there, everybody who's listening, thank you for watching. For all the viewers out there, we got a great show for you today.
Absolutely. Make sure you follow us on our social media, on our Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Tornado Takeover _IE. We try to get all of the scores out, everything that's coming up in the state of Oklahoma. So make sure you follow us there. And we're going to jump into hearing a word from our sponsors. And then we get back, we're going to jump right into this action-packed show.
All right, stay tuned.
All righty, here we go.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hi guys,
Hey.
Welcome back to the Tornado Takeover. Again, shout out to our amazing sponsors, Planet Jerky, Seal the Deal Wax Seals, and IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We are back. If you are not able to catch us on the live, make sure you check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio. The list goes on and on. You can always listen back to us. So let's get into the show today. We are going to start off with no other than the Oklahoma City
Sooners.
I don't know why I said Oklahoma City before I say Sooners.
Well, starting off with those Sooners. Hey, she said that because that's where I'm from. I'm from Oklahoma City.
I say Oklahoma City everything.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City Cowboys. Oklahoma City this.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City that.
That's all. It's just paying some respect to where I'm originally from. Also, just before we get in, I just want to throw in our little mascot here, Okie.
Please ignore his shirt, but he is our firstborn son.
He is our mascot. He is definitely representing for the state of Oklahoma. So getting in. Let's start off with the Oklahoma Sooners.
So last week they played Tulane, which I'm not even sure what to call that game because honestly, I feel like it was supposed to be Oklahoma was supposed to dominate that game. And to be honest, I feel like a little bit of it turned into Oklahoma just was there. And when they played. It was actually a really good game. I was expecting it to be a complete blowout.
Right.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't. Score 34-19. Definitely in the Sooners' favor. They're starting off strong, 3-0 right now. So Sooners are doing really well. I expected the same thing. I thought that it would be a complete blowout as well. Excuse me.
Like a 60 burger or something. Like
yeah.
But
Tulane did what they could, but again, it was Boomer Sooner all day, so they did well. Going to the highlights.
I know Tulane's leading rusher only had 19 carries for 71 yards, which, that pays a testament to our defense. But I will honestly say that defensive line is going to have to step up because we are hosting Tennessee this weekend. So, it goes to show that it's like you can't always.
You have to make the adjustments.
Yeah.
Especially with playing a team like Tennessee, they're definitely going to be a challenge. So we're going to have to go in there, definitely step up that defense, which is something, OU has been noted for, is defense, definitely strong, especially, moving to this new conference. But we're definitely going to have to make the adjustments. I think they're in the works, and they're just kind of working and seeing what needs to be done. What adjustments they need to do. And I believe that if they make those adjustments, especially with stepping their defense up a lot stronger, I think that they absolutely can come out on top. It's not going to be easy, but it can be done. It can definitely be done. So good job, OU. They did well.
Let's just jump right into the Tennessee game, because I feel like that game is going to be, it's our first SEC game.
Right.
Like being a part of the SEC conference. So it's our first conference matchup.
Absolutely.
It's first time that we've, really bringing the attention, I guess you would say, other than like the Texas OU game. It's like the first a big attention game in a while.
It's going to be a different vibe. Playing against Tennessee. Again, with this new conference, it's going to be some change, some difference, but I do think that with definitely stepping up that defensive line, doing everything that they need to do to make all the adjustments they need to make, I think that everything will turn out all right. Again, it is definitely going to be a challenge. I'm not going to say it's just going to be. I don't want to make any predictions too early. But I do think that OU absolutely has a shot in beating Tennessee, and they're coming off of a 3-win streak, so the momentum's in their favor. But
they're both are.
Yeah, definitely.
I will say though, I feel like this is a big test for Tennessee too, because Tennessee hasn't really played any, except for NC State week 2. They haven't played any strong teams.
Not really.
So, and this, you could say the same for Oklahoma, for OU as well. Oklahoma, right. OU, same thing.
Yeah. Same difference, but you guys know. So it's definitely going to be a good clash. I'm looking forward to it, guys.
So they announced yesterday that defensive lineman Deshaun Terry, who is a former Tennessee Volunteer defender, and Woody Washington, defensive back, who is a Tennessee native, are going to be 2 of the 6 captains for the game. So it's almost like they're making their stance like, look what you had, now we have it, we're going to make a stand. Also, College Game Day is coming to Norman. Look, guys, I apologize. I'm still on Disney brain. We did 4 parks in one day yesterday, so we're a little struggling.
We're having a little recovery, but I think we'll be fine.
But the last time that Tennessee lost to Georgia during their last College Game Day appearance, which was in 2022.
Right.
So there is some hope. Maybe that College Game Day curse, if you would say, is still there. So crazy enough, did you know that these teams have actually met 4 times prior to this?
I did.
I did not. I knew that they have played prior, but I didn't realize how far back it went. It actually started in 1938. They played in Miami. Tennessee was, I believe, the away team, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe they were home. I don't remember. It was considered one of them a home and one of them away team. But in 1938, that was the only win that Tennessee has had against the Oklahoma Sooners. So OU holds that record 3-1.
Absolutely.
In 1968, they played again in Miami, but it was considered a neutral site. So, but again, OU still ended up winning. They played in Norman for the first time, In 2014, OU again won that. And then they played in Knoxville in 2015. And Oklahoma ended up coming out on top 31-24 in double overtime.
Absolutely.
So, going back to looking at the offense or the defensive line, I should say, for Oklahoma, Tennessee's leading rusher last week had 7 carries for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tulane's leading rusher only had 19 carries for 71 yards. So that does say something. Again, I think Tennessee was playing like Kennesaw State or, not a strong Power 5 conference team.
Right.
So that does say something. But I feel like, Stutzman, Bowman, the 2 big defensive, captains, leaders of the defense are really going to have to step up and, help this defense out, because I don't really want to say this, but I'm going to make it known that if we don't stop the run game against Tennessee, I think
they're going to be a problem.
They're going to run all over us like they did NC State.
Right.
There, I said it. Real quick, want to jump into the chat. Hi, Ralph. Ralph Khalees, who is on right after us with the Yenser Report, talking all things Pittsburgh, said, good afternoon, Angela and Fred. Show number 2. Have a great one. Let's go. Absolutely.
All right.
And then Dre Area Sports, he does all things NorCal, NorCal Sports Report. He is on actually 2 hours before us. Said, what's up, y'all? And he did say smash that like button and subscribe to IE Sports Radio. Absolutely.
Do that.
Y'all go check out those shows and all the other shows here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We are literally for the fans, by the fans. So these are all fans who manage every single podcast, which is absolutely amazing. I've been a part of them for, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've been around for 10 years. I've been there for most of it. So again,
I'm the newbie, but I'm definitely.
You've definitely been around for most of it, as we've been together for almost 3 years. So you've been with us for 3 years.
Definitely.
But yeah, definitely check out all of the other IE Sports Radio shows. They are all amazing.
Absolutely.
All right, going back to OU here. Anything else you have left as far as our defense?
Just touching on some things
Sooners
in OU. Taylor Tatum did catch a touchdown pass, and he ran for score during the game. Arnold passed for 169 yards, and he ran for 97. So offense is looking strong. But definitely, again, I know we've touched on it.
I think Jackson Arnold is especially with Dylan. I know we talked about it last week, but with Dylan Gabriel no longer being at OU, I definitely think Jackson Arnold was the answer, and
Absolutely.
I think he will be the answer this year.
Absolutely.
To get us to where
very athletic, definitely can scramble. He's got a good passing game. So my thing is, and we've touched on it several times, but we have got to get that run defense, because with a strong team like Tennessee, they're going to exploit that if we don't do something about it. So that's what I want to see. I want to definitely see Stutzman and Bowman and all these guys, like, let's rally together. Hey, we gotta show.
And the fact that we have 2 Tennessee, a former Tennessee player, as well as a Tennessee native playing on defense, that should also get that fire up. We'll have College Game Day. It's going to be there.
Definitely.
There's going to be a lot going on in Norman that day. And it being our, welcome to the SEC. What I don't want to see is, and I think any fan can say this, regardless of the sport or the team, when they're going into a new conference, is you don't want it to be like, welcome to the SEC, ACC,
Big 12, or
whatever conference. Hello, welcome. Now we're just going to pound you down to the ground and you're here.
Right.
Like, let's have a literal competition.
Right.
I want to see a good football game.
And in this transition, I want it to be competitive. I definitely want to see a good game. I mean, for those of us we love sports. You know what I mean? We all have our teams we're going to root for. Let's just keep it real. But we definitely want to see, like we see that down to the wire. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's got us at the edge of our seat. Like, we put our popcorn down just to watch this game. You know what I'm saying?
That heart's racing.
Right. You know, like, man, you got those jitters. You're pacing back and forth. You want your team to just get it. Definitely. That's what you want. You know, for those of us, like I said, everybody who's loving sports and watching sports, we definitely want to see competition. We want to see the best effort possible.
And I think we'll get that. I really think we're going to get that out of this Tennessee team.
I agree. I can't wait to stay tuned.
It's gonna be a night game in Norman.
It is.
So that'll be fun.
Norman will definitely be packed. So moving forward to.
Let's talk about some past OU sports that have just passed. We had the in cross country, I believe it was the women. The women placed third versus Texas A&M. And women's soccer, they played this past Thursday against UL Monroe, ended up winning 3-1. And then Saturday played the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes and ended up winning 2-1. Those Lady Sooners are 5-0 at home and 2-1 on the road.
Yes, so
congratulations, Lady Sooners.
Yeah,
for
keep
real.
doing it. Keep doing it.
Volleyball played in the Tulsa Invitational. They ended up winning Thursday against Stephen F. Austin 3-0, and then winning against Tulsa on Friday 3-2. Volleyball is going to end up opening up their first SEC play. Is going to be against Florida, the University of Florida, on Thursday, September 26th.
Right.
So we got a lot coming up in OU sports.
Absolutely.
So coming up, Lady Sooners are going to open up SEC play against Mississippi State this Thursday at 7 p.m. at home. Then they're going to take on Texas A&M on the 22nd at 2 p.m. At Texas A&M. Women's golf is going to be hosting the Schroeder Fall Classic. It's going to be this Saturday through Monday, and OSU and Tulsa are going to be in that as well.
Absolutely.
And then
switching to men's tennis, they're going to be playing at Arkansas Monday, 16th through the 22nd.
It's a tournament, the Arkansas Futures, or one thing I said Arkansas Futures, and I believe OSU men's tennis is playing it as well, and they called it the Fayetteville Futures. So one of the two.
Volleyball. Let's switch to the volleyball for all you volleyball guys and ladies out there. They're going to play the UC Santa Barbara Tuesday, September the 20th, 6:30 p.m. Men's golf going to be at Valera, Texas, Saturday, September the 21st.
That's like the Valera, Texas Collegiate Invitational or something.
Right. That's going to be from Saturday, September the 21st through Monday the 23rd. Women's tennis is going to be at the ITA All-American Championship.
And that's actually going to be in my home state in Cary, North Carolina.
Hey.
It starts this weekend, the 21st, and it's going to go until the 29th. We're kind of hoping if we're in town that we can
slide in there.
Go see a match or two.
Maybe.
Back in the way back days, I used to play tennis. We don't tell a whole lot of people that, though. And then the men's tennis is actually going to be playing in the ITA All-American Championship as well, but theirs is going to be held in Tulsa. And both OSU and I know OSU is going to be in the women's, and I know Tulsa men is going to be in. Clearly, they're hosting it. And OSU men are going to be in the men's ITA All-Americans. Women's tennis is also going to be in the ITF 35K in Berkeley, California, the 22nd through the 29th. I'm not sure how they're playing two tournaments on separate sides of the country, but
hey,
that's them.
If you got it, you got it.
And then rounding it out for this week, volleyball is going to be at Kansas State on the 22nd at 4 p.m. So before we head to a break, we are going to pop up a fun question for you
Trivia
guys.
time.
Who did Oklahoma beat the last time that College Game Day was in Norman. It's going to be kind of a segue to our next section. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we'll let you know the answers to that. And then we'll jump into some OSU Cowboys.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernan.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
You wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
And we're back.
Hey, how's
Welcome
everybody?
back to the Tornado Takeover, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We are your hosts, Fred and Angela. Are you Angela now, Fred?
No, I'm Fred.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Last time I checked, yeah.
Okay. I just wasn't sure.
I mean, Angela's cool, but yeah.
You rather be
I'm
Fred?
Yeah, I'd rather be Fred. If it's better.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know.
All right, let's get into our answers. So before we took a break, we asked, who did Oklahoma beat the last time College Game Day was in Norman? And your answer is, drum roll, please. The OSU Cowboys. It was during the Bedlam rival, and Oklahoma won 41-13. So bring in the good vibes that it happens again this time.
Absolutely. Definitely.
All right. So
let's switch gears from those Sooners to those Oklahoma State University Cowboys. Y'all ready? Let's talk about that game that happened Saturday, playing against Tulsa. So it kind of covers the whole Stillwater thing, like with the two college teams out there. OSU looked amazing. Very, 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 very sharp. They shut them down, in pretty much every which way.
I'm not sure Tulsa showed up. First of all, I'm not sure Tulsa showed up, both the players and the fans, because I'm not sure how many of y'all watched that game. If anyone watched it, there was way more orange in that stadium than there was blue.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And it was being played in Tulsa.
Right.
In Tulsa.
And for those who know, Stillwater is in the Tulsa area.
They're like 70 miles apart, which brings us to that game was better known for, I guess, the locals, because I didn't really know it.
The Bank of Oklahoma Turnpike Classic.
It is the Bank of Oklahoma Turnpike Classic because they are 70 miles apart, separated by the Cimarron Turnpike. He laughs at me because I can't say that word all the time. Bank of Oklahoma ended up taking the sponsorship of that and making it a name in 2017.
But it started in 1914.
Yes, the rivalry started in 1914, actually, when Oklahoma State was actually Oklahoma A&M.
For those who didn't know.
Tulsa was actually Kendall College.
Right.
So Oklahoma State ended up getting they started out as a agricultural and mechanical college in 1890, and then later became OSU for agricultural and applied science in 1957, which is when the name switched over. They became the university, and they actually started in a smaller town and then moved to Stillwater in sometime in the 1800s. It's very interesting to read the history of that college because I was down a rabbit hole for about 2 hours. Kendall College actually started in 1894. It was originally a Presbyterian college because Tulsa is a Presbyterian college. It actually ended up being it was a Presbyterian college for Indian girls. Because as y'all know, that was all Native American land.
Right.
Then it became Henry Kendall College in 1894. In 1920, it transitioned over to the University of Tulsa, which is what we now know it as.
Right.
So during those, I can't do the math right now, many years of rivalry, 2024 to 1914, that's over 120 years?
It's a long time.
That's a long time. I'm not going to do the math because we'll be here all day.
and we have a very limited time and space. So
exactly.
Getting into
it was played 76 times. The one this past week was number 76. OSU holds the record for 44, 27, and 5.
This is true.
So Tulsa has one. They have tied 5 times, but OSU has definitely dominated that.
Absolutely. And many people had concerns thinking that the OSU Tulsa game would be a trap game for OSU.
Yeah, especially for OSU because they're playing such a lower down.
Right, but OSU definitely did their thing. Even in the fourth quarter when Tulsa got the interception and then OSU got the interception right back.
They literally played a game of hot potato for a second.
Yeah.
Here, it's your turn for the ball. I'll take the ball. You take the ball.
Let me get that. Yeah.
But the poor Tulsa Golden Hurricanes, they tried. They really did.
They played to the end, but it was just the OSU show. It just is what it is.
The score was 45-10. Tulsa did not score their first points until 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game.
Right.
Yeah, you heard that right. They did not score a field goal, their first 3 points, until 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game.
And they finally scored their touchdown, a minute and a half left.
So it was definitely a rough time for Tulsa. Obviously Cowboy fans are a little more excited than the Golden Hurricanes were. Which leads us to coming up. OSU is going to be playing the Utah Utes.
Yep.
So that's going to be excited. Now, the one thing that I am, I think it's going to be an interesting game. Utah's quarterback, Cameron Rising, actually ended up going out and getting hurt, his hand hurt.
He did.
On week 2 versus Baylor.
Right.
So even though he was dressed and stuff for last week's game versus Utah State, he actually didn't end up playing.
Right.
Which makes me wonder, will he how well is his passing game going to be? Are they going to end up running the ball more? Or are they going to end up, or, his wide receiver, one of his wide receivers came out and said, his hand's great. He's definitely going to be playing. But the question is, how limited is he going to be?
Right. How restricted is he going to be? How much of the passing game? Or are they going to rely on the run game?
Yeah.
Only time will tell. I mean, we don't know, but we'll see. Speaking of Utah, the leading rusher has 41 carries and 274 yards.
And a touchdown last week. But
week.
Again, they were playing Utah State, but still.
Yeah, I mean, that's still pretty impressive, though. So, like I said, only time will tell. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we'll see. Moving forward, did not play week 3 versus Utah State. We've already said that. It says they're good.
You think about when you're a quarterback and you're hurting your hand, that's like a carpenter hurting their hand and they can't hammer a hand. How well are they building this house?
Right.
So how well are we actually going? Is he actually going to be able to throw the ball? Tulsa ended up on defense, or Tulsa ended up last game with only 32 carries for 116 yards. So the question is going to be, clearly OSU's run defense is pretty great. Is Utah actually, are they going to be throwing the ball, or are they going to be running the ball more? Which I feel like they're going to end up running the ball a lot more.
Well, it would make more sense. Again, only time will tell. It would make more sense. You definitely don't want to agitate that injury more, but they may sneak a pass in here and there. Again, we'll see. But definitely looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a really good game also.
That is going to be a good game coming up this weekend.
So moving forward to the Players Invitation with men's golf. Let's see. Also tennis.
Men's golf ended up they got 6 out of 13 in OSU.
They did.
In their little Shahali.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And their invitational women's tennis played in the Battle of the Bay they actually ended up finishing that on Sunday. Women's soccer ended up playing Baylor, ended up winning 1-0 on Thursday the 12th. Thursday was the 12th. Yes, Thursday was the 12th. And then
men's tennis.
Yeah, they
Waco
played
Fall Kickoff Classic. They played over the weekend.
Women's soccer. So they played Texas A&M Commerce. That's actually where your cousin's boyfriend goes.
Yes.
I just thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
They ended up beating them 6-0 on Sunday.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey.
But coming up, men's golf for OSU. Men's golf is going to be in the Fighting Illini invitation. Y'all, we have it written down and I can't read my writing. Okay, that's what happened. I thought the F was the R and I was like, the Fighting Illini invitation in Illinois. They're going to be playing that the 20th through the 22nd. Men's tennis is going to be in the Fayetteville Futures or the Arkansas Futures, or whichever school you read has a different name for it. Coming up. Women's soccer is going to be playing
Colorado, 7 p.m. on the 19th. The equestrians.
I bet y'all didn't know that OSU had equestrian.
How about that?
Or equestrians, as my household calls it.
That's going to be happening on the 20th at 2 p.m.
They're going to have their black versus orange scrimmage.
Having their scrimmage.
And then again, women's golf is going to be in the Schroeder Fall Classic we talked about earlier. And the men's and women's tennis will be in the ITA All-American. And then wrapping it up for this week on Sunday, women's soccer is going to be playing
Texas Tech.
I believe it's at Texas Tech. I could be wrong.
I believe so also.
But it's going to be at 1 p.m. on Sunday.
Absolutely.
So let's chat a little bit of Tulsa. We talked a lot about Tulsa earlier when we were talking about OSU, about the Cowboys. They're actually going to be playing Louisiana Tech coming up in Louisiana on Saturday at 7 p.m. Both of those teams just got off of a loss.
Right.
Louisiana Tech lost to NC State by 10 points. And well, we know what the score of Tulsa ended up being. How do you feel about this game?
A pretty even matchup, I think. Like I said, they're both coming off a loss. I think now it's just going to see who really wants it more.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely feel like that.
Because now it's like we have something to prove now, whichever team that you're on.
You know, and that's the hard thing is, and I hate to say it, Tulsa is a great team, but Louisiana team that I saw playing NC State on Saturday was also a good, I'm not going to say a very good team. I'm not going to say a great team.
We can say a good team.
But they were a very good team for their conference.
Right.
So I feel like this should be one of those where Tulsa wins.
Yep.
But it's really a real even matchup.
Yeah, definitely.
Very good.
Very, very close.
So I believe it's going to end up being a really good game.
Yeah, it could go either way. I think at the end of the day, it's just who wants it more.
Absolutely.
You know, so let them clash, let them lock horns, and let's see what happens. You know.
All right. Also wanted to give a huge shout out to Braden. Isn't that her name? Yes. Braden Hip. Y'all, I can't read my handwriting. She was the setter of the week for the American Conference. So shout out to her. All things volleyball, check out Set Point. I promise, Taryn, one of these days, I'm going to get your show right after however many years.
Check out Set
Point with Taryn Rodriguez. That's on right. Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. He does an amazing job covering all things volleyball. So going into what we've had that just passed us this past week in Tulsa sports, we had women's golf placed 11 in the
Fold of Honor Collegiate Invitational.
Again, I can't read my handwriting.
Hey, we're a team. Teamwork make the dream work.
Men's soccer tied Oral Roberts 2-2 on last Tuesday. And then they had a lot going on.
Women's soccer, they lost to Rice.
1-0.
Volleyball moving forward. The women's 3-2.
They beat number 22 Arkansas on Thursday 3-2. They also men's tennis ended up playing in the Waco Fall Kickoff Classic. They had the Kickoff Classic in Waco. Back to volleyball, they had their invitational over on I believe Friday and Saturday. And Friday, or maybe it was just Friday. They beat Stephen F. Austin 3-1 on Friday, and then they lost to OU 2-3. So pretty decent volleyball team going there in Tulsa. What about men's soccer here?
They lost 3-0 to Creighton on the 14th. Women's soccer lost 1-2. That's all right. Hey, it happens.
And women's soccer did play OU.
They did, and OU is
Sunday.
they have a very strong soccer team.
Yes. Yeah, so upcoming.
No shame.
Upcoming in this week for Tulsa sports.
We have women's soccer versus North Texas. It's going to be on the 19th at 7 p.m. Volleyball at Kansas on the 20th at 6:30 p.m. Men's soccer versus Memphis on the 20th at 7 p.m. also. Volleyball at Purdue the 21st of this month at 12:30. Women's golf, the Schroon Fall Classic.
The
Schroener Fall Classic, excuse me. The 21st through the 23rd of this month. Men's tennis, ITA All-American.
That will be at Tulsa. So they're actually hosting that. So yeah, a lot
going on in the state of Oklahoma.
In college sports,
definitely.
Not just football. Of course, we love football.
Oh yeah, we're definitely a football household. But hey, we got to cover them all.
All right, so we're gonna ask you guys one last question before we take another break here. The question is, what was Oklahoma City originally called? I did not know this. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back. You are watching Tornado Takeover right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
That's right.
We'll be back.
Hey, sports fans. Are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For a down south education on Florida sports and athletics, it's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
The light is red, the kids are in bed, which means it is time for Mile High Musings with me, Aaron Yowell, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, everybody?
We are back.
We are back.
You are watching Tornado Takeover.
I'm still Fred.
I'm Angela.
Yeah.
What?
See?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Again, don't forget to go give us a quick little follow on Twitter X at Tornado Takeover IE. Also, you can check out our little page on the IE Sports Radio website at iesportsradio.com/tornado takeover. Also, if you are unable to watch this live, don't forget you can
watch it on YouTube.
You can watch it on YouTube later. You can also listen to it later wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeart, Google Podcasts, Amazon, the list goes on. Don't forget also to follow IE Sports Radio on X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. If you want to see some amazing show snippets, give them a follow because your girl's the one that makes them.
True indeed.
All right, now, thought you knew. And don't forget to make sure you order Planet Jerky's premium beef jerky.
The jerky that is on a whole other planet.
It's amazing. They got all different kinds of flavors, some for everyone. Also, Seal the Deal wax seals. Again, I keep telling you guys, y'all think I'm crazy. Seal the Deal made our seals for our wedding invitations.
Absolutely.
Every single person is like,
that's right.
I love these. Where'd you get them from?
Yeah.
Y'all go check out my girls and say you be with
She
Seal
did
the
an
Deal.
amazing job. Shout out.
Amazing. All right, guys. So we asked a question before we took the break. What was Oklahoma City originally called? I did not know this, so we're all going to have a history lesson together.
All right.
Are you ready? Drum roll, please. It was called the Unassigned Land.
It was during the land rush in the 1920s.
So they had all this land, and Oklahoma City was called the Unassigned Land. I know, guys. Yeah, I know. Your jaw probably hit the ground too. Like, what? Really? Yep. That's what I said.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to get into some Oklahoma City Baseball Club. So the Oklahoma City Baseball Club is a minor league for the LA Dodgers. They actually are finishing up this season. They have a 6-game road stand starting tomorrow against, are you guys ready to hear who they're playing? The Salt Lake Bees. Buzz, buzz. Yes, the Salt Lake Bees. So they will be playing a 6-game road stand against them. Salt Lake is actually 65-76. Whereas the Oklahoma City baseball club is 75-69 record. So I think, hopefully we'll win this. It should be a good stance. They did finish yesterday a 6-game homestands against the Tacoma Rainers, where they did win the series 4-2. Yesterday, they ended up winning the game 6-4. The Rainers did get off to a early start in the first, scoring 1 run in the first, 1 in the third, and 2 in the 8th. Unfortunately, that just wasn't enough for the Oklahoma City Baseball Club, who ended up scoring 3 in the third, 2 in the 5th, and then 1 in the 7th. So hopefully our OKC Baseball Club, is doing pretty good. Hopefully they can make it to the playoffs there.
Definitely. Shout out to the Oklahoma City Baseball Club.
Absolutely, for sure. All right, we are going to now go into some USL Champions League soccer. We're going to talk about the Tulsa FC. We had mentioned last week that the Oklahoma City Energy is also a USL soccer team. Unfortunately, for the Energy, they're having some technical difficulties when it comes to their pitch. For those who don't know, a pitch is what they call a field in soccer. It has to reach certain guideline standards. It has to be, I used to work in professional soccer, so babe's like, yeah. It has to be a certain distance from the lines have to be a certain distance from the stands, like so that the off the field. And excuse me, the stadium that they have been using is actually not up to code to the pitch, to what pitch regulations need to be for USL champions. So once they get that squared away, once they get the, either try to find somewhere new or they're able to do some construction to their current location, they will start play again. So right now, the only USL champions team that we have is the Tulsa FC.
Mm-hmm.
And Tulsa FC is actually going to be playing this Saturday against Rhode Island at 7:30 p.m.
They are 9th in the USL Champions League West.
Yeah. So, good news for them. They're still playing. Bad news for them. They are 9th in the division in the Champions League West, which means playoffs ain't happening.
Right.
Unless the next few games there is a dramatic flip turn of events.
Right.
It's just
something drastic happens. It just is what it is.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Shout out to in the chat room. Shout out to Taryn, who is now tuning in. Thank you, Taryn. Again, Taryn Rodriguez, all things volleyball on Set Point. I said it right. On Mondays at 9 p.m. He also is the host of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show on Fridays, talking all things SoCal. So he will talk about the Dodgers, which our OKC baseball team is a field team for. And he's also co-host of 3 and Out College Edition with Larry B on Saturday morning. So they'll be chatting about all things college football. I mean, we're not talking about just our typical college football. We're talking about Division II, Division III, divisions I've never even heard of.
They cover it all.
Alphabet letters.
So if you're interested, make sure you tune in. Check it out, guys.
I've never heard of. All right. They also cover some high school football as well. And again, Larry B is in the chat, says, I made it just for the end.
Shout out to Larry.
Welcome, Larry B. He said, what is up, Fred and Angela? Look, we've had an action-packed show and not many hours of sleep. That's what's up.
That's it.
So, and yes, Larry and Taryn are both Dodger fans. So they said, go Dodgers. Same, Larry, same. They're catching the end of the show as well. So great to have you guys in. All right, let's switch gears, and we're going to end the show right here talking about some good old OKC Thunder.
That's right.
We had a lot going. Oh, not really a lot going on, but
some
had
information
enough going on in Thunder basketball. I don't know why that turned black. Enough going on in Thunder basketball. All right, babe, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Kendrick Williams, let's speak on that. He had a successful knee surgery, his right knee. Unknown for the season opener, but we definitely need him out there. So as we both spoke on last week, Thunder looked really, 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 really good. I mean, they ran across a really tough team in Dallas, but for a young, strong team, it's only up from here. He missed the start of the last season with back spasms. Career low, 14.9 minutes. He's normally used to being out there a little longer. So
that was his atrazine. So it's, and I think that's one thing that's kind of there's been so much move around within KC. In KC.
OKC.
What is wrong with my mouth today? In OKC, so much move around. So they're going to be definitely during training camp, finding different rotations, finding who works together.
Getting that team chemistry. Also picking up our new center that we picked up. I think that's definitely going to help out also. So we're going to see how they mesh well together. Need SGA to definitely be the leader of this team, as he's definitely
been
that guy.
And then if anybody is interested, FanFest for the Thunder is going to be on October the 6th from 4 to 8 p.m. at
Scissortail Lower Park.
At Scissortail Lower Park. So make sure if you are a Thunder fan, you go check them out.
Absolutely.
And you are in the OKC area.
Yeah, stop on in.
Alrighty. But yeah, so about the Thunder, I mean, there's not a whole lot going on. The biggest thing is just making sure that we have we get those rotations
right
that are going to work best for the team. Hoping that Williams has a speedy recovery, because we're definitely going to need him back on the court.
Absolutely. And with that said, guys.
All right, that does it for us here on Tornado Takeover. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, make sure you follow us on all of our social media. Make sure you check out IE Sports Radio as well, and all of our amazing sponsors. We have had an amazing episode 2, and we can't wait for episode 3 to join us every Tuesday right here on IE Sports Radio. For all that is sports and future. So hope everyone has a great night, guys.